Rumor, the ARMS trailer for Smash has supposedly leaked. Let's break it down and talk about the possibilities.
Block content.
What's happening, my Block buddies, and welcome to a brand new episode of Blocked Content's Leak Speak. My name is Callum, and this is going to be your content for today. Well, for the longest time, we've all talked about the ARMS character in Smash Bros., who we think it's going to be, and of course the weird idea that we know the character franchise, we don't know the character specifically, right? So there's a lot to talk about here, because supposedly an entire setup of what the actual trailer is like, and this could actually be real. I mean, there's no way to find out, but I mean, the specifics here sound like something very Sakurai, sound like very, something that I would actually come up with as well. It seems very likely, and I think it's a really cool idea, so I wanted to take the time and talk to you guys about all of it today. And of course, I've also been answering many of you guys' questions about Smash Ultimate and new fighters in our show Question Blocked, where I answer your questions. What do I think of your favorite game? How do you start making YouTube videos? Well, whatever you can think of, send your question through to blockedcontentmail@gmail.com, and I will answer your question live in our next Question Blocked episode. And here's a brand new giveaway. You can win one of 4 Super Mario Surprise capsules from Tomy. I'm giving these away to just random users that like the video and subscribe to this channel, so please do so. They're really cute, they're really well made, and you'll find out who's inside when you win. Alright guys, let's get into the main topic of today. And that's of course talking about all the ARMS news and the character and the specifics. I mean, we're only about a month or a month and a half away from actually finding out who that character is, and I can't be more excited to find out because, yeah, this is the first time that we know all the characters in the franchise, but we don't know which specific one they've chosen. Like, nothing really like this has ever happened in the Smash Bros. Universe before, other than, we knew a specific character, we just didn't know how that character was implemented in Smash or how it would move. Like the first trailer for Smash Ultimate that showed the Inklings, we didn't know if they were 2 separate characters or like skins of one another or some Echo Fighter situation, and what the moveset would be, and were they in that cinematic trailer, but nothing like there is going to be an ARMS character, and that's pretty much all we'll tell you until you find out in June and actually get to play as the character. So I want to talk to you guys about the specific rumor that I'm talking about here, because it actually is something that I think could happen, so it is fun to talk and speculate about. Here we go. ARMS trailer. The trailer for the ARMS character goes as such, so breaking it down in its entirety. The end of the Incineroar and Ken trailer. So if you guys don't know, that was the final trailer that actually released for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate before the actual game came out. Now, Incineroar is looking annoyed, only for a fighter with lanky arms and legs dropping down from the lighting setup, so from that stage, of course. The character drops down and is still, only when it drops down and lands, only a silhouette. The character stands up and slowly that splash screen is displayed. Bam! Springman springs into battle. And then, of course, like they always do, a gameplay trailer is shown, and the alts, the alternate costumes, are the 7 other characters from ARMS, which I think is actually a really likely scenario, but yeah, we'll talk about that too. And the trailer ends with Incineroar on the floor with crossed eyes and a tongue out, and Springman looking smug. The release date would be June 16th. So all of this, like I just said, seems super likely. I mean, it feels very much like something that they would actually do in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It feels very realistic, if I could say, because of course they've been doing repeats for other trailers within Super Smash Bros. I mean, look at that King K. Rool trailer that was actually repurposed for the Banjo and Kazooie trailer. I mean, how cool was the idea of getting continuity between cutscenes, and especially cutscenes that are basically Super Smash Bros. Character announcements, right? Well, to do that again, they haven't really done it since, and we've all kind of speculated, oh, maybe they'll do Doom Guy with Samus's trailer, with, having Ridley announcement trailer and changing it up with Samus and then getting rescued by Doom Guy or something like that. So that could all still happen. I think that one of the likely candidates is, of course, this stage, because it is the Smash Bros. Ultimate ring, the Punch-Out ring, and it makes so much sense to actually get that in the game, because that trailer, there was a lot of love put into it. It's a lot of like special effects with the fire and the screens and the sparks coming off of the screen. So I definitely think there was a lot of effort put into that one, only for a trailer that people didn't really love. I mean, the announcement of Ken and Incineroar was good, and it was a tiny bit leaked beforehand, but a lot of people were expecting the Grinch leak to be real. So that being the final characters in the game was a bit of a letdown to everyone. And of course, now we know there was a lot more DLC, and of course we got Joker and the Hero, Banjo-Kazooie, Terry, Byleth, now the ARMS character, Piranha Plant, all that good stuff. So there's a lot more to look forward to than just that initial roster, but them repurposing that one, I could definitely see. I mean, it would be really cool. It already felt to me like this thing with the first trailer for Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, where there was actually Villager with the boxing gloves in the boxing stage. That always looked really cool to me. And to have it be the end of the Incineroar and Ken trailer makes like complete sense with this character, of course, being a boxer. That I could definitely see. I would have loved to have some sort of connection to Little Mac as well. I mean, just Little Mac versus the ARMS characters, I think would be a great battle to see. So we will for sure be seeing that because it is confirmed we're getting an ARMS character. We just don't know. Maybe it can be Twin Tail that works a little bit differently. We'll get down to that too. So the character dropping down as a silhouette, all that cool stuff, really feels like a Smash trailer, right? Maybe with lit up eyes or something like that. And of course, Incineroar looking annoyed and basically just looking around the stage, right? He had just defeated maybe Ken in that trailer or something like that. They had just gone head to head. Maybe something like that happened. But then, of course, a character dropping in with lanky arms and legs, and we don't even see them. But yeah, if you see them in silhouette, that would probably mean that it has the springs on it, so it would immediately be clear. And also, I think it's a really difficult thing to show off an ARMS character in a CG trailer because everyone's expecting an ARMS character. So what could be an original way to do that? Well, they could come up with something even more clever than something as simple as this. This is pretty bare bones stuff. It does make me feel like it could happen, but I also think the development team is a lot smarter than this, and maybe there's no CG trailer possible because that's a whole different team working on those, and maybe due to everything going on in the world, it's not even possible to get something like that going. Now, continuing on with the exciting part, of course, it makes total sense that there would be a gameplay trailer put in here as well. They always start with a great CG trailer, then some gameplay. Some trailers even put some gameplay in the middle of that, and then of course end it off with a really great ending to that CG cutscene, something funny or something like that. Well, it seems like they're going for that same kind of route here. Springman springs into battle, then gameplay is shown, and supposedly, if we are to believe Sakurai and his thoughts like in the columns and stuff like that, it really feels like they want to make the gameplay style of ARMS very well reflected in the Smash Bros. Moveset, so maybe even more so than, say, the Inklings from Splatoon in Smash Bros. Ultimate. They already felt a lot like the movesets, the basic play style that you have in Splatoon, especially getting into the ink and, recharging. But I mean, it still does really feel like a Smash Bros. Character, and I feel like maybe very similar to the Street Fighter characters in Smash Bros., the ARMS character could be super, super faithful to the franchise. You could actually feel like you're playing ARMS. I feel like that, like the trailer that Sakurai will talk about the character, like, oh, I'll play through it myself, and here's classic mode. I feel like he's going to detail, like, and this is exactly like in the game, and when you press this button in the game, it does this throw combo and stuff like that. I think that would be really cool. Now, after the gameplay, alternate costumes for 7 other characters from ARMS. Well, if there are going to be alternate costumes, it'll be around 7, that's for sure. But them being all other characters, does he mean all other colors? Or like definite like palette swap, like a different character as a whole? So like Pikmin has, of course, Alf as an alternate. Stuff like that happening in Smash all the time. I'm just really curious if they'll do it for this character because some of these statures are very different between characters and of course face models and everything like that. They could make it work by putting some extra work into it, and that could definitely be the case because it is a first-party Nintendo franchise that they're desperately trying to push a lot more, as seen with ARMS getting actually free update and stuff like that, and people can play the game now. It's super cool. I think that they could definitely do some special treatment for ARMS just because it kind of needs it, right? But I'm really curious if this is the way that they'll go about doing it. And then the trailer ends with Incineroar on the floor with crossed eyes, so supposedly in that gameplay trailer you'll also see the ARMS character, which supposedly is Springman, beat up Incineroar, and then of course the crossed eyes happening a lot in the Pokemon franchise and anime, the tongue out and then Springman looking very smug, which he can really, really do very well. So the idea here of June 16th having Springman as the character, well, it won't be the most creative or crazy choice that they can make, because I think Springman is of course already in the game. We already know the assist trophy, and yeah, now assist trophies can become characters. Wow, that's a big thing. And then people will expect all assist trophies to show up in this pass, and probably won't happen. So that's already kind of weird. But also the fact is that it's the vanilla like box art character. There's a lot of other different things that you can do. I mean, a lot of people are saying it makes the most sense for Springman to be in it. I can definitely get behind that. I've said that a couple of times on this show as well, but I also feel like if you're going to do an ARMS character and you show off all these different characters, you're not just gonna do Springman. I mean, that makes no sense at all. and feels very un-Sakurai to me. So I think a lot of different characters, or just something unique like a Min Min or Twintel or Max Brass, something like that. So Ninjara is also a choice, but not people's super favorite. I think Min Min and someone like Max Brass, maybe Twintel, they really belong to the fans. So I'm curious what they'll choose there, and I'm super curious what you guys' thoughts are on all this news, right? I'd love to hear what you guys think of this. If you comment down below, that could actually be featured and read out loud in our next video. And today's comment question is, who do you think the ARMS fighter is going to be? And as for a previous comment question winner, our answer comes to us from Mr. Howell, saying, a Donkey Kong newcomer. Who I want? Tiny Kong. Who I expect? Dixie Kong. If a Banjo-Kazooie remake were to happen, I would hope Banjo-Tooie would be remade with it. So Mr. Howell, thank you so much for your comment. I would actually like to, echo those sentiments, because especially around Banjo-Kazooie, I think that if you're going to remake that game, remake both of them. They both had the same engine, the same system originally. So I think that that makes sense out of that, specific era. But also, yeah, it doesn't really make sense to do one game when the franchise is now kind of known to be, it's Banjo and Banjo-Tooie, also Nuts and Bolts somewhere, and maybe some GBA games, but definitely make both of them if you're going to remake them. And then Tiny Kong versus Dixie Kong I think is interesting, because Tiny Kong I think is a Nintendo-owned character, and Dixie Kong is kind of in that in-between where it's also a bit rare. Because I think Tiny Kong actually happened to be in some other games of Nintendo's, and Dixie Kong really sat those ones out. So that is interesting, or Nintendo just likes Tiny Kong a little bit more. Either way, I think that both characters are great. They have different fan bases, they have different age groups of fan bases, but I think that both of them could make for a good character. I think Dixie Kong deserves it a little bit more, just being a longer fan favorite and having appeared in a lot more games, originally on the SNES. So that has my vote, but yeah, Tiny Kong, I wouldn't shed any tears over that. I actually think that it would be really cool because Tiny Kong has a great moveset in Donkey Kong 64. So yeah, let me know if we are going to get Donkey Kong newcomers. I think that there's a lot of choice with Funky and Cranky as well. So I'm really curious if you guys have any specific thoughts on that too. So thank you so much for sending in all your comments. These are so much fun to do. And of course, a big shout out to our latest Patreon supporters and the super chats you guys sent during our live streams. You guys make blocked content possible. So if you want to have yourself created in blocked content style, or join me for a little Zoom chat, or even have your own ideas become animations, patreon.com/blockedcontent has all the good stuff for you. So please support the channel. And remember, if you're not yet a member of the Blocked Content family yet, hit subscribe now, smash that like button, and ring the bell for notifications, and all the news and fun you care about will be delivered on the daily to you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you around the corner where there's always more Blocked Content. See ya!